in the new gradebook, when there is no assignment submitted by the due date, it automatically.
Okay, this is faculty meeting, January 16th. And I'm going to record the session so that everybody can get all the new information for this year and start the year off right. So just we're going to give it a few more minutes to just allow faculty to get here. So just hang on to your horses for a sec, those that are watching with us.
Because they were showing up this week. Week 3 and 4s are showing up in week 2 and 3.
Yeah, you have to watch out for that. Some of the scheduling. And some of them are just flat out missing from the daily checkpoint module. You have to go ahead. They're in the shell, but they haven't been listed as modules. So
and see, I've never had this issue before. And all 3 of my classes this mod had that issue where week 3 and week 4 is daily.
Yes.
And had I not had that automatic grader set up, none of us would have noticed.
And my week 3 and week 4 assignments and assessments, the dates were wrong as well. I had to go in and change them back. Something went wrong, but
it happens.
It happens. Hey, Miss Christy.
Oh, hi.
Hi. We're just waiting. Nate's going to be a few minutes late. We have had a couple of people excuse themselves. So I'm just going to give it another minute or two before I start, and then I'm recording the session.
What kind of dress is this?
the jalapeno ranch.
Hello. Yeah, he'll be here. He's just going to be a few minutes late. Oh, there's John. You're right. Hey, John. Yes. We've had 1 or 2 excuses, so I'm just going to record it, and so that everyone can get the information. And then I just want to share my screen here.
You're hiding back there so you can get your troubles out. Gotcha. We don't trouble, so we need to get more.
Everybody make sure you sign in.
I don't see it anymore. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. Since I can't make it to the meetings anymore, I don't see those. I never know what I've written after I left them.
Sure.
Hey, Linda. Welcome. It's good to see you. What is that? I'll give it another minute. We're just waiting for Nate.
Yeah, it may have been the same thing.
How are you doing, Linda?
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for that form, the verification form. Thank you. It was perfect. It was just what we needed, just something.
I was like digging. I'm like, where is it?
Thank you. Yeah. So everything's organized.
So late getting it in.
That's okay. At least we got it before the next mod starts. Yeah. You're teaching next mod, right? Mod 2? Are you teaching now? I think you are.
I've got a lot of things.
Yes. This is going to help. Today's going to help quite a bit. Especially with the audits. Yeah. John stepped up for a second.
Well, she didn't put that in there.
Well, hey everybody, I think I'm going to start, even though I know there are going to be a couple of latecomers. Todd. Always Todd.
If I can't get him in trouble, then it's not a day.
Welcome to the first mod of 2020, and I hope your mod thus far is going well. On my minutes, you can see that I have a little saying there, and I think that's going to be the theme of this year is finishing strong and continuing to finish strong. We don't know when finish is, but we are going to, it's not how you start something. You think about it, it really is about how you finish. It doesn't matter how someone starts a race. If they don't finish the race and they don't finish strong, no one really cares. But people do pay attention when we finish something strong. And it sets us up, and I told us, we were talking about this last time, it sets us up for what's coming next. Our attitude and our mentality, and I know it's not easy. And even I have some days where I'm, I don't know quite what to say, having a little bit of a panic attack. But yeah, I really want to finish this year strong and keep things going, keep the momentum going, keeping the activities in class going, keeping the fun stuff going, and as much as we possibly can, and just like we've said before, give these students our very, very best, 100% of our very best, for as long as they are here and as long as we are here with them. So taking a look just real quick at the metrics report, let me see if I can pull it up from mod 12. Yes, thank you, Todd. Mod 12. I wonder if this is mod 11 or mod 12. What am I looking at? Oh, it is mod 12. Something is wrong here. I'm sorry, guys. This can't be right. Because there's 69 students. Anyway, what I was going to show you was our course completion for mod 12 was a little low. We were, I think, at 88%. Student satisfaction was high. I think we were at 94. Attendance was relatively okay. Attrition was all right. And then what's the other one? Course completion and attendance and student satisfaction, right? Those. So it was really the course completion for mod 12 that really we saw a little bit of a dip there. The mod before that we had it in the 90s and it dipped down into the 80s. But okay, it was Christmas time and holiday time, so now we're back and now we need to get the students motivated again to complete their courses. We started with looking at all the classes yesterday and all the students and all the issues, and we started off with a lot of students not submitting assignments, struggling to get going. Grades are looking a little low. So I just want to encourage you, faculty, please, if we can get them going a little quicker here so they can actually pass their courses and bring up those grades and get things submitted. And I know it is hard to kind of get the train going with some of them, but I just want to encourage you to really encourage your students in that. The second point I have on here, continuous improvement and quality control. The changes that we are going to see today for the audits and for BlendEd and the Gradebooks, all these changes, as you know, is continuous improvement, even through this transition. Even if we are going through a transition, the improvement is going to continue. The controls and measures to measure the improvement is going to continue through this year. We are going to have changes on a consistent basis and on a continuous basis. I know if you're like me, I like things to kind of just make a change and leave it smooth for a while and make a change. And I'm finding they are implementing a lot of changes very quickly, and we've got to kind of keep up with that. So just be ready for that, okay? We had a lot of changes last year, but I think this year, and a lot of it you'll see is changing the whole structure of courses, audits, and what's happening is you're getting more and more training to prepare you when you or if you do decide to transition online as an online instructor. They're starting to align the online portion and the on-ground more and more, as we've seen. We've talked about this. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to it. But for 2020, for your professional development plans, thank you for getting those in. I've submitted them. It is important that we note what you have on your professional development plan as your goals. The certificates that you're handing in and the documentation that you're handing in to me needs to align with that. So by the end of the year, we need to see, if you said you're going to be going to workshops and trainings and whatever, we need those certificates or some sort of proof that you've actually done that. If you're involved in a trade group or any of those, or you're subscribing to something, just something that shows that you are subscribed, so I can add that to your file. So I'll kind of remind you quarterly and say, hey, have you guys looked at your goals? What have you done thus far? What can you hand in to me? What can I put with that to prove your professional development? Now, what they want to see in our professional development is for every area that you teach. So if you are teaching, for instance, like Terry, who teaches some business, she teaches IT, she teaches some accounting, the kind of bigger topic areas need to be addressed in your professional development. You need to show professional development for every major area that you're teaching. John, someone like you, finance, then management, then business administration, those are big kind of topics. If you are teaching economics, you want to do some professional development in terms of economics. We've got to be able to show that. So what they're doing, and we had our files audited last week, was if you don't, you are then not qualified to teach that area. Let's say you don't do continuous professional development in, say, finance, and you're teaching finance. The previous year, you cannot, for the next year, be scheduled for those classes. So we have to show the accreditor that we are continuously keeping up with what's going on in the industry and that you're getting training in that. Does that make sense? So every major area. So for instance, Todd, if you're going to be still teaching maths, it will be maths and it will be, CSS 299, whatever. All of you know kind of your major areas of teaching. Terry, you've got quite a few. Some have more than others, yeah. So you don't have to have for every section in the professional development, every single one of those, but throughout that professional development, they must be able to see all three of those or four areas covered in your professional development. Does that make sense to everyone? Quarterly, we'll just come back around and touch base on that. Next point over here, it says 2020 in-service training shell. Now, I'm sure you've been receiving the email saying you've got this in-service training shell and I'm wondering what that is. I'm going to show you. For 2020, if you go into your Canvas platform, at the bottom, you should see your CE Academic Affairs Professional Development shell from last year. That was for 2019. They've now created one for 2020. Okay, so if I click on 220, it looks like a course shell. Okay, and you have a whole bunch of little tabs here that are only, for faculty. And in here specifically, we're going to take a look at things like they have your professional development guidelines. If you want more information about the guidelines, you can go in and click on that. In service, here is a list of some of the in-service topics that they are going to be covering from academic affairs side. So you can use those in your professional development for your, adult learning and all of that. Classroom practices, classroom management practices, teaching practices, and so on. And, we get certificates for those. So, and they'll let us know when they're coming up and when they're scheduled. Like I always have sent it out to you, and you'll know when you can kind of do those. In here is the instructor's manual, updated instructor's manual, if you'd like to go, Linda, and reread the manual. I'm not saying reread the manual, but you know what I mean. Refresh. There are some the dates of payroll, when payroll goes out. You can have a look at there. There's some other little resources, especially for the IU faculty. But if you go here to instructor audits, I'm clicking on instructor audits because we're going to be dealing with this a lot today. Here's independence audits and then on-ground audit information. Okay. Now, I only received this training yesterday. So please bear with me as I try to give you all of the information needed for next module. They've changed the audit form and how some of the audits are going to work. 80% of it is the same, but there is about a 20% change in some of the information and some of the stuff, and we'll go through that today. So in here is an overview. There is some audit resources, okay? There is audit training, and we're going to look at that in a second, and then there's an audit appeals. When you have an issue with your shell, the same week that you have an issue with your audit, please email me, because I need to go in and fill out the audit appeals form and have them check the shell and recheck everything. So send it straight to me. I send it to them, and then they will fill it out. So that is kind of the process. It's got to come to me first. I send it to Academic Affairs. They check the shells. They rework it, and then they change it.
Because when I wrote out an appeal for week 1,
yes,
it went straight to heaven.
Yes, but
automatically. There didn't seem to be any way to send it directly to you.
Yes.
Or to send a copy.
You need to send me an email. Okay. You need to email me. So, and then I fill out the appeals form, because that appeals form does go directly to them, but they want me to fill that out, and because they want to know that I've gone into your shell and I've rechecked and what I've seen. Yeah, and what I recommend the grade should be. So I need to give them a recommendation, say, hey, you got 94, but this could be a possibility here of some issues. Maybe it was a CDT team like we've seen today, and it's now 100%. So yeah, so that's why I've got to come to me first. Nate, this is the in-service training shell in your Canvas shell. And so there is a BlendEd Audit tab. I'm going to go back so you can just see that real quick. That's all right. So in the in-service training shell, looks like this, and I'm here with instructor audits. There's a bunch of resources for faculty over there. On-ground blended information. Okay, and so I'm going to go into audit training. So we look at the audits because I think that's the big thing. We want to know what we have to do. Now, there are 2 trainings that they have uploaded that Heather Gunn has done, but they are pretty long and we're not going to have time for that. So I'm going to kind of run through the basic changes. If you want to go into more detail, you can watch those trainings. She goes into a lot of nitty-gritty detail, but I think, like I said, 80% of the stuff we're already doing. So I just want to go through the things that we are not doing and the changes that have come, and so we can address those in our shells. In here you have a sample blended instructor weekly schedule. What that actually is, it's a checklist. I've printed the checklist out for you, so I'll give it to you before we leave. I don't want to look at that just yet. And in here are some grading feedback, assignment verification in the portfolios. We're going to talk about that as we get to portfolio verifications. So I'm going to click on BlendEd Audit Training tool, and it's going to look like this. It's a PowerPoint. Now the PowerPoint's not very clear, so I have printed out the audits. This is week 1, and then this is going to be for week 2 to 4. Okay, don't catch a fright. It's easier than it seems. It looks like a lot. It is a lot, but like I said, 80% of the stuff we're doing already. So we'll go through it slowly, and don't panic. I'm giving these to you as a resource, so when you're busy setting up your shells, working in your shells, you've got this next to you, and you can have a look at that and make sure what you're doing is in line with the audit sheet. So you can follow along on there as I go through this. And on the screen is the PowerPoint they used yesterday for the training. And I'm not going to go through all the detail. I'm just going to go through the main points. So the purpose, yes, let's understand the purpose. Purpose, to promote consistency in our practices, accuracy in our reporting, and compliance with the CHE BlendEd standards outlined in PD 363. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why we do this, for consistency, for accuracy, and for compliance. Okay, some of our instructional modalities. We use classroom, online, and then BlendEd, which is what we use here on our campus. BlendEd is defined by 50-50 course time division. We know that. The course shell houses the course content, and they want to see continuous participation from instructors in those shells. That is why we do these audits where we check on Wednesday, have you got your second post? On Thursday, have you got your second announcement? Do you have responses on separate days? It's that continuous participation in the online component with your students. Just a couple of responsibilities. Like I said, I'm not going to go in depth with this. We know that our objectives are outcome-based. We use guided learning versus delivery information, and collaborative learning. As instructors, our responsibilities are to reinforce topics taught in the class, promote student engagement, facilitate communication, encourage use of external resources. All of this we know and do already. We integrate topics taught online. In the classroom, we set the BlendEd expectations, and there are some considerations. For instance, what is the best way for students to use the technology in the shell? How can I help students to prioritize and see relationships among course concepts? These are questions we ask ourselves as we're teaching this, as we are preparing each week, and as we prepare the shells. How can I best use the learning environment to deliver course material effectively? And I know that you ask yourself those questions. Here's a comparison of some of the changes between the existing tool and the new tool. It's not very clear. So as we go through it, you'll see this, what I have given you, the printout is way more clear than what is on this screen, because there's a lot of stuff on here that I just feel, we already know. Okay, so for week 1, let's stop there. Any questions, anything anyone wants to say up until this point? I don't want to rush through it and feel like you're not having an opportunity to ask questions. Everyone's still good? Making sense? Okay. Please remember your courses, it needs to be published by Monday, 8 a.m. I know that some of us tend to do it a little bit later on, but by 8 a.m. on Monday, courses must be published. Okay, for week 1, your instructor bio, and I need to look at page. Very start of the mod. Monday morning, the very start of the mod, everything must be published that you're going to be doing for the mod, the entire mod. Unless you're unpublishing something like an assessment that you don't want students to access. But then it's better to change dates. Yes, yeah. But everything must be published for them to see what's coming, even though they can't access it. Yeah. Okay, week 1. For the BlendEd audits, they're starting with Canvas profile and instructor bio. So what they want to see there is that you've actually gone into your Canvas profile, you've updated your picture, you've got your bio in there, and how you do that is it's in settings. You click in settings, it'll say profile, and you click on profile, and then you can change your profile. So your bio needs to be in there, as well as your picture. That needs to be updated. Now, I know we did it at the beginning of last year, I think. So once when they do shell audits, and I have to do shell audits, I need to go in and make sure that your Canvas bio has been updated. Okay? Yes, this is your actual shell, not the course shell. It's your actual Canvas account. That's right. Mike?
One thing I noted last year was if we're like Terry and John and others and teach a lot of different things, our bios better reflect each individual course specifically.
Yes.
And so what I've done is I just have a Word document that I have my bio for Matt 220, my bio for this other class, and I just cut and paste.
What about,
go ahead, Terry.
Sorry, what about this Canvas workbook? Does that need to have something reflected in it for every single type of class?
It's your general bio. It's just a general. Your general bio without specific class or content specific. What I do, Mike, is I also have a general bio, and I have one little paragraph in that bio that I change to put in the description of something I've done that relates to that class, the content in that class specifically in terms of my experience, my work experience. I just change the little paragraph. Yeah. And that's what you guys, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that second paragraph is the one that I
Yeah.
generally cut and paste.
Yeah, you don't have to rewrite the whole thing again for every class. Yeah. Okay.
And the other thing I've done in the past is I'll just go pull the bio from the previous time I taught.
Yes.
class and put that in.
I do that a lot.
Just import it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read what it says. You'll see the point structure, 3, 2, 1, and 0. I'm only going to read the first one. In other words, what do they want? So your Canvas profile and instructor course bio include the following: professional photo, education and professional credentials, contact information, instructor's name, your college provided email, address, and phone number. And like I always say to our faculty, put your Zoom ID and Zoom link in there as well. Okay. Next one, homepage. Master homepage is present, 12 link buttons are active. In other words, your homepage looks like the homepage. We know that. Class schedule, same thing as we've always been doing. I know this looks like a more complicated here with all these explanations, but it's what I've handed to you. I'm just it's breaking it up a little more. Class schedule page is updated with date, time, and location of the course. I think everyone has been doing that. I haven't seen any problems there. Right. Announcements. What have I got on there? I skipped something. Your announcements, and I just want to make sure that this looks like this. Schedule early announcements. Okay, for week 1, instructor posted a minimum of 1 announcement with the title no later than Monday. I think we're all good on that part. Now, have a look for your announcement content. They want something more here. Announcement is appropriate, encouraging, and or motivational. In other words, now we can't just go in and put one little sentence and hi, hello, it's week 1, let's enjoy. It's got to be more. Provide additional support and or resources. So your announcements need to be a little more content rich than, in comparison to what we've been doing right now. Yes. I just want to, can I just finish it? Because it says content and then visual appeal. Easy to read, formatting and color to add interest, images and or media. So what they're saying is like, we've just been doing a basic announcement, basic title, basic little announcement. What they want, Terry, is a little more meat in there about the content. Use it as a learning opportunity, put a little bit of media in there, whether it's a picture, whether it's a clip, change the font, change the colors, make it more exciting and interesting. I think that's what they're getting at. So does that make sense? Use it as a learning opportunity. That's what I'm seeing. So just a little bit more than just a one sentence, hi, welcome back to class kind of thing. A lot of us have already, like you put in there, hey, this is what's coming this week. This is what I need you to do. A lot of you do that already, but just kind of make it visually appealing. And maybe add more, like, oh, this week we're going to be doing this and this and this. Prepare yourself in this and this way. Maybe you want to read this page is so and so and so. Kind of just add a bit more content-rich material in there. Yeah. No, it's 1, 2. One on Monday, one on Monday, and then another one by Thursday. 2 announcements each week. Okay. Is that okay? Terry, are you okay with that? I'm not going to go into your shell right now just because there's so much more that we've got to get to. Digest, yeah. No. With Mod 2, they've said as we are getting used to the new formats and the new requirements. So we'll ease you into it, Ms. Terry. Okay, discussion forums. I don't think too much has changed there. With your discussion forum, there's a graded discussion for each of the 4 weeks. All discussion forums are published, so I checked that in the first week. Your substantive post, week 1, instructor submitted initial substantive post no later than Monday. The post is a minimum of 250 words and contains a minimum of 2 references. Everyone's doing this. I've checked this. We're all doing it. Everyone is good there. Go ahead, Miss Linda.
Work-wise, are they part of the discussion? Is that?
Yes, we're going to get to that.
It's coming up later.
It's coming up because we start looking at that in week 2. So right now, this is everything that we look at in week 1. Okay. Continuing. Discussion forum. There is a graded discussion for each of the 4 weeks. All discussion forums are published, okay? They're just showing me more examples. They're just showing examples here on the screen, but you guys know all of that. Now they have what is called an administrative requirement. Administrative requirement for discussions. This is new. Not new, but new. The gradebook is complete. All category weights are correct and equal 100%. Up to 106, remember, with your daily checkpoints. Attendance and or participation points are not included in the course, nor is extra credit, except for the daily checkpoints, of course. All of us are doing this. When I've gone into your shells, everyone understands this. Your weighting has looked correct. So weighting, just check that your weighting is 100%, and then if it's over 100, not more than 106, with your extra credits. Over here on the side of the screen, it just shows you the weighting, which it shows you in the gradebook as well. Your discussions are 24%, in-class activities 16, assignments 32, assessments 20, daily checkpoints 12. That equals 104. I think the daily checkpoints are now a little more. I think it's 16 with Sundays included. We now have daily checkpoints on Sundays as well. Okay, so it's 100, comes to about 106. Go ahead, Todd.
We're giving this information now, because I think I gathered a few points from my new class. I'm still on over 106 over here.
Yes.
Because we're just getting this information. Of course, I'm going to go and try to make adjustments.
Sure.
Will we be penalized?
No, no. This we'll only start looking at this in Mod 2. And then, like I said, they'll at first be very lenient. We're going to give everyone an opportunity to get used to the new format, to kind of get up to speed. Yeah. Yes, if you try and do it this mod, you'll be okay. I won't penalize you. If you want to start doing some of these things, it's okay. Yeah. Assignments, there's a graded assignment for each of the 4 weeks. All course assignments are published. They said 3 required for 3 credit courses. On our campus, whether it's a 3 course or a 5 credit course, we have a graded assignment in every week. Okay? It's just our campus standard. Assessment, same thing. There's a graded assessments for each of the 4 weeks. All course assessments are published. We do that. We're good with that. All right, same thing. In-class activities, very much the same thing. If instructor opts to use in-class activities, the activity is updated with content and the activity is published. If the instructor opts not to use the in-class activities, they are deleted from the course and gradebook. If the instructor opts not to use the graded in-class activity and the opt-out criteria met, the instructor earns an automatic outstanding rating, okay? However, on our campus, we've opted as a team to keep things consistent and to have in-class activities every week. So, yeah, I check that, and I kind of hold us to that standard just because we want to have an in-class activity that's fun and exciting for our students every week, just to keep things, kind of alive. Are you still with me, everyone? Next one, week 1, the gradebook assignment. Now have a look at administrative requirements for your gradebook. The gradebook is complete, all category weights are correct, up to 100% of daily checkpoints, attendance and or participation points. Okay, it's the same thing. Attendance and or participation points are not included in the course, nor is extra credit. Okay, use of rubrics. Are you with me, everyone? Let me go down and scroll down and show you where I am. This was just the same as the previous one. In-class activity, administrative. I'm reading just the bottom part because that's what you have in front of you. Rubric use for week 1, all discussions, written assignments, written assessments, and in-class activities where applicable include a rubric. I think for most of us, you do that. And most of your assessments seem to be quizzes. Very few that I've seen that you guys use an assessment and then use a written assignment, and then we have to include a rubric and comments and all of that. Okay, which is fine. All right. Let me just see. Oh, just verify the total points at the bottom of the rubric match the points for the activity. That's something that I've been doing the last couple of mods, is checking that your rubric, the points, match what is in the mod, in the module, so that it's not confusing for students. Okay. All right, that is week 1. Any questions regarding week 1? Slight changes, right? But the majority of the stuff is the same. Okay. Week 2 and week 4. Do you have week 2 and week 4 in front of you? Okay. Let's have a look. Very, very similar, but there are a few major changes we do need to chat about. All right. Previous week, Monday to Sunday of each week. Announcements. Instructor posted, here we go, Todd, second announcement on Wednesday or Thursday of the previous week. Both announcements from the previous week have titles. I remember what they said about the announcements, a little more content rich. What I want to say about announcements, be careful, don't post one on Monday and then one on Tuesday and nothing for the rest of the week. Rather take your Tuesday and post it on Wednesday or Thursday so you don't lose any points. And be careful you don't want to post it on Friday, the second one either, because then you lose points as well. They want the second one Wednesday or Thursday only. Okay? Your current week, announcements for week 2, instructor posted one announcement by Monday of the current week. Announcement has a title. Once again, we're checking the content. Do you have content-rich material in your announcement? Is it visually appealing? So you're welcome to have some fun and be creative with your announcements.
We don't have anything to say about like the course per se. We just go the motivational route.
Yes. Yes.
Well, live long and prosper or something. You know,
Maybe, yeah, maybe something a little more educational. You know, about finishing strong, or yeah, a little more education related than life related. Education, motivating. Come, give us some ideas. What?
Star Trek characters.
Okay. Sure. Go for it. Yeah. Yeah.
If you watch Facebook, there's memes that come up like there's one of the breathing dancing, the Carlton dance. You always put something like that in there.
Yeah.
Education.
Woohoo! We're so happy.
What's the message?
The message. Woohoo, guys! We're halfway through the mod. We're halfway through the mod. Yeah, so what they're asking is, you know, like I said, use the announcements as a learning opportunity, be a little more creative with it, because I think students aren't really reading those announcements the way that they would like students to engage with that online, and for you to engage with students as well. Another opportunity. Second substantive post of the previous week, your second post, instructor submitted the second post on Wednesday or Thursday. So same thing as the announcement. Don't have your second post on Tuesday or on Friday, because you get penalized for it. Second post on Wednesday or Thursday only. Your initial post of the current week, we check again that it is a minimum of 250 words with 2 references. Todd is smiling. Yes, Todd, same thing. I also smiled when I read all of this and went through the training. That's the same. Yes, you have until Sunday to do your responses, yeah. So you've got more time in the week to do that. And also you're going to have students posting on a Sunday. So you need to go in on Sunday evening or Monday morning, or Sunday evening at the latest, right? And do responses. Participation and presence. Instructor respond. Now here's a big change. So put a little star next to this block over here, column. Instructor responded to a minimum of 50% of students' posts by the end of the previous week, okay, which we have been doing. However, for courses with 4 students or fewer, instructors respond to all student posts. Okay, if you have a course with 4 students or less, you need to respond to every single one of them.
That just means their initial post. You don't have to respond to every single post they may throw in there.
this, yes, to one of their posts. One response to one of their posts. If you have 5 students, then it's 50%. Respond to 50% of the students. This is the student responses, yeah. Makes sense? I can see why they're doing that. You have students, 2 students in the class and you've only got 1 response. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of engagement and back and forth conversation, as opposed to responding to both of those students and, you know, eliciting more out of them, more responses out of them.
Part of that is that you're dependent on the students actually posting.
Obviously, yes.
And if they wait until Sunday at 11 o'clock to post, I'm not gonna be following up.
Right.
I'm gonna be asleep.
So therefore, please encourage your students in class and say, hey, I've told my students Sunday night, 7 p.m. that's when I grade. I'm grading Sunday night at 7 p.m. I'm not grading at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. It's ridiculous. I did. I said to them, I said to my students, please have your work in by Saturday like you always have done, because I want you to have Sunday off. However, I'm letting you know, Sunday, 7 p.m., that is when I start to grade, because I want to get my grades in on Monday morning. Monday morning, I'm teaching, so I can't grade your work on Monday morning. That's the thing. So I'm encouraging them to get it in earlier. Yeah. So you can do the same. Okay, so 4 students or less, we have to respond to each student. Responses to students, responses now also a bit of a change here, are individualized, related content introduced, you're extending content, and your responses connect to learning objectives. In other words, it can't just be, hey, thank you for your post, see you in class on whatever. And I know most of you do. You engage with the student. I don't think any of our instructors really have a problem there, but now we're actually grading the content of your responses. So it's got to be content rich and extend learning. Okay? Yes, it is subjective.
Talking about discussion, I want to talk about the student responses. The current rubrics I seem to be getting with my discussions.
Yes.
Say not word one about student responses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I changed all my rubrics for those because they don't.
No.
Yeah.
So there's no, if the student actually looks at the rubric, they don't have any evidence. I emphasize it.
Yeah.
That you have no grounds to grade them down on not doing the response based on the discussion.
How?
Because your students
Yes.
come back and say, hey,
However, when it says student has, something to the effect of followed all the requirements, whatever, answered the question. If a student, I say to the students, if you haven't posted your response, that's a third of the grade. I'm sorry, but that is part of the instruction. It's part of the question to actually have those. So I do grade them down, and I find some way to grade them down because they must respond.
Yeah, and that's another side of it. The only place I see that I can grade them down is that very first criterion,
Yes.
which is worth about 3.5 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they're not going to do anything for 3.5
Yeah.
points.
But Mike, you know what I do with the others? I like for all the others, I don't give them a full grade, because I'm like, I can't give you a full grade for this category when you haven't got the complete assignment in. The complete assignment is with responses.
there is a rubric out there that lists specifically they must post on responses on separate days, and then that same rubric has a section for their first response.
Yeah.
And then their second.
Yes.
I just been pulling that in and
Okay.
putting it on all of them because that way they can't argue. with them.
Yeah.
They
That's
can't
not
argue
what
with
they're
one
giving
another.
us now.
Yeah.
So my question is, aren't we supposed to be using the stuff that they're handing us now because that's what they want used
Yes.
throughout the organization?
But however, they have said you can change rubrics. You may change criteria on rubrics as long as you have a rubric, and that rubric is very clear and very specific. So you're allowed to change the rubrics. Remember, you're allowed to change assignments, assessments. There are things you can change. There's things you can't change. We cannot change daily checkpoints, and we can't change, and I'll get to that later on, portfolio assessments. Portfolio assignments. So those can't be changed. But yes, Mike, you have total freedom with your rubric. You can change your rubric. Yes. Yeah, as long as the points. Yeah. So what we're looking at on the rubric as an auditor As an auditor, what I'm looking at the rubric is the points match, the rubric is clear, and that you've used the rubric. Okay. All right. So there was responses. Professionalism, here's a new little category. Okay, so we just said responses are individualized, related content is introduced, extends the content, responses connect to learning objectives. Professionalism is the next little rating there. Instructor presents self as expert and professional, shows respect for students, maintains civility, and uses a positive tone. Positive tone, John.
Okay, fine.
We know you do anyway. Oh. All right, so another little category there, some easy points, hopefully. Okay, grading. Let me just scroll down to where I am. For grading, you have administrative requirements, which says, Instructor Todd graded all submitted work for the previous week and zeroed out all the unsubmitted work, including daily checkpoints. Right, we've been doing that. Nothing new there. Next one, content for grading. Let's see if I can read this. Wow. Here we go.
Feedback is always specific to the content, offers encouragement, draws connections to the course objectives, suggests additional resources, and/or helps students make career connections.
Thank you, Linda. Wow, your eyes are amazing. Oh, that's because you guys got bigger ones. Mine is tiny. Look how small mine is. Okay. So once again, the grading, comments, and feedback. We've talked about this before, but they haven't gone into this much detail. Again, a learning opportunity, an engagement opportunity with your student. They need to see more than just well done and that your comments are canned. The comments have got to be individualized. Keywords there are specific, offers encouragement, draws connection to the course objectives, suggests additional resources, helps student make career connections. Ooh, career connections. Yay, very important. The most important thing. Okay, does that make sense? To just extend the learning a little more. In other words, I think it's easy just to rush through the grading, rush through the comments, just get the grading done. I think what they want is for us to stop and just spend a little time with the student during the grading and giving them some guidance, encouragement, and direction. That's what that is. Professionalism. Instructor always uses student names. Comments vary between students, not canned. Instructor makes an extra effort to connect with each student. Rubrics are utilized for all graded submissions. We do that. And then mechanics. Comments on IWG. What is IWG? Writing guidelines. In other words, APA, writing guidelines, and mechanics are offered as needed. They're saying, do not constitute the sole focus or majority of your feedback about the IWG guidelines. Resources, explanations, and/or offers. Can you read the rest there, Linda? Mine is cut off.
I'm sorry, read what?
I'm reading from mechanics for grading. No, I'm going to show you where to find it.
Comments on IWG and mechanics are often needed, do not constitute sole focus or majority of feedback. Resources, explanations, and/or offers of assistance are provided. What types of assistance?
We're at the grading. Are you missing a page?
I think that's assistance on the actual mechanics,
No.
right?
Yeah.
You got it? Assistance on basically the grammar, their spelling, or their structure.
So what they're saying is the majority of your comments can't be about the spelling and the grammar and all the issues. Okay, it can't be your sole focus. Your focus has got to be more on the content. Okay, that makes sense, everyone? Are we still helping John?
Yeah.
We're almost through this, guys. Okay, so just grading mechanics. The majority of your grading shouldn't be focused on mechanics, should be focused on content. Okay. Are we all good up to there?
Quick question on
Yes.
that. When they're talking about these comments, are they talking about the comments in addition to whatever you made comments on that section of the rubric? Or are they talking about that section of the rubric?
It's whatever comments you're making, because some people use the rubric, some people use the little comment box, some people use both. As long as you have got comments and feedback somewhere on either one of those. Doesn't matter which one, as long as we can see that you have you've given the student feedback. So you can use the rubric, you can have only your feedback only on the rubric, it's fine. Some people do that because they like to be more specific in terms of the categories. Some people just prefer a general comment at the bottom, so it's in that general comment box where you'll be more specific with your grading comments.
I think it's going to depend on what shows we voted, because the national previously had to do that.
Yeah. No space for comments?
Specific.
Oh, okay.
You know, I tried to be specific.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. If it works for you, Todd, then that's fine.
It's the only choice I can have.
Yeah, unless you import another rubric. Right. Okay. Okay. Take a deep breath, everyone. We're nearly through it. Another deep breath, Mike. Okay. Portfolios. Woohoo! Yes, do I need to do another little dance like I did last year? I gave you weeks 1 and 2, 2 to 4. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's now at the bottom. We're at the, I don't know which page we're on. Where the section, the portfolio section. So week 2 to week 4 are exactly the same. The audits form is exactly the same. That's why you've only got 1 from weeks 2 to 4. So in the portfolio section, can you see it? You guys are kind of, let me just make sure.
We don't have anything on portfolio.
Weekly discussion. Let me just see. Grading, rubrics, that's what we're talking about, mechanics. Okay. All right, so let me just see what it says here, because I think it's part of the general grading.
It's there.
Is it maybe in week? Alright. So there is a little section, just like you've seen here, where it says grading, where it'll say portfolio. I'm going to show you where to find this and this PowerPoint in your in-service training shell. So you have access to all of this. Okay. So now the portfolio, if you look on the screen over here, this is what the portfolio little rubric looks like for me when I do the audits and when they do the audits. It says portfolio up here. It says the same thing as the assessments: content, professionalism, rubric use, mechanics. Exactly the same thing. I need to go in and check in the portfolio assignments that you, when in your content and in your feedback, that you have given some content, you've made it, you've personalized it, you've used the rubrics, and you have commented on mechanics and other things. So it's exactly the same as the previous, the grading. It's exactly the same as the grading.
You've got access, like, to the speed grader.
Yes. Well,
We can do that with-
we're going to talk about portfolios in a second. First of all, please do not delete any portfolio assignments. We may not change them. We may not delete them. If they're in there, they are there to stay. They're going to add portfolio assignments to every single shell. Some shells have one for every week. Other shells have 1 or 2. Other shells have none. But they're busy, and they've given us a list, and they're busy changing every shell to have portfolio assessments. So when I go into do your audit, or when the academic affairs goes in to do an audit, they'll go in and have a look at how many portfolio assignments you're supposed to have in that shell, and then they'll go in and audit those. So have a look here. I know it's very difficult to see this because it's so small, but in your portfolio, when you grade, you have a little rubric. This says 0, 5, 7, 9. Okay, you have a little rubric there, okay, that you use when you do portfolio assignments or when you grade it. Then there's some place for feedback. Okay, this is where you're going to have your comments or your feedback. Now, for the portfolio, for the portfoliums, you can either have the comments and the feedback in the portfolio where you grade it, like I've showed you here on the screen, okay, in the portfolio itself, or when you go into the speed grader. And let's go into the grades real quick. Gradebook. Okay, I pulled up a gradebook. So now the gradebook looks a little different. Those of you that have been in and have seen, I'm not sure if they've changed all the shells yet, but this is kind of what it looks like. We no longer have the option to, speed grader is no longer up here. Here's a whole bunch of other stuff. Talking about the gradebook. We haven't received training for the gradebook yet. Okay, we're kind of flying solo right now. We are going to get training for the gradebook this mod. So we just need to be patient.
Penalizing us until we get
Yes.
Faculty training module that's there for 2020.
Yes.
There are 3 announcements at the top about the gradebook. One
Okay.
of them gives you directions to an FAQ section that you can go study.
Okay, yes. Right. I'm going to go in and look at that in a second. Okay. So those of you who haven't looked at the gradebook, you click where you want to grade. Do you see what it's done? There's a little arrow over there. Very small. Click on that arrow. And your grade and speed grader comes up on the side of the screen. I'm going to shift that to down here. So this is Candy. This says discussion 2 and the heading quality. So I can go into that assignment if I click on this arrow here. Okay. Or sorry, going to the next discussion. Here's speed grader. I know it's very small. There's your speed grader. And then go into the assignment and you can do your grading.
You would shuffle from one student to the next, or you got to keep going back.
Yeah, this arrow at the top.
That's still there.
Yeah, that's still there. So that's the major change that I've seen in the gradebook so far. So for the portfolio, what I'm saying to you is you can either have your comments here in the speed grader for the portfolio assignment, or it can be in the portfolio itself where the actual assignment is in the portfolio. I will check both. They've given us instructions of how to go and check both, as long as you've given comments and feedbacks and it is content rich, it's personalized, you've used the rubric, and you've talked about mechanics, and not the majority of it is about mechanics. Does that make sense? So it's the same thing as grading any of the other assignments or assessments. It's the same criteria. So portfolio assessments and assignments will now be also audited. That's what I'm really saying.
Do we know if there's any investment in rubrics in the portfolio that we can do what we do in the rubrics or the
Yeah,
candidates?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're so rigid. I mean,
Very.
if you either give them 100, 20 points,
Yes.
or you can give them 10 points, but if
Or 0.
they're in the middle there, you can't give them the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Yeah, it's, yeah. Do you want to send a ticket up? I think send a ticket up just so they have that. They're aware that it's a difficult rubric to use and we need something with more criteria. Okay. All right, Mike, you were talking about in the training shell, where do we go for the grade book? Was it in this shell? Homepage of the shell? This one? Of the incident shell. The old CE shell. Okay, so I'm going to go to the old CE shell.
Because I think everything was posted in January.
Okay.
Those 3 announcements.
Oh, these 3 announcements are about the grade book. Okay. So we need to go in and have a look at that. The other thing that I wanted to show you in here in this training was the portfolio trainings are in here as well. In the old shell, I'm going, here it is. Under BlendEd training, here's the portfolio training. Do you guys see that? Okay, so those of you that are not familiar with the portfolios and you've not started using them, go in and revise the training. I have to as well because I'm not using the portfolio in this mod, but because I have to audit them next mod, I need to go in and revise the training again. So we did it at the end of last year, but I think we need to refresh that, especially if you've got portfolios in your shelves. Okay, so there's the training. So always, if we're looking for something we're unsure, there's training. Academic metrics, success training down here. All right, I'm going to go back to this in-service shell. Okay, that was the grade of the portfolio. Okay, so a few changes, right? Like I said, 80% of the stuff we're doing, 20% there's more work for you in terms of when you're commenting, when you're posting announcements, that kind of thing. They want to just see a bit more meat to what you're writing to students, and it's very individualized, very personalized. Okay. Going again into audits, instructor audits. BlendEd audits, audit appeals, audit training. I'm going into audit resources, number 4. Okay. Instructor weekly schedule. We used to call it the checklist. We have a checklist. So, yay. This is going to help a lot. So once again, when you're busy with your shelves, you're preparing your shelves, every week, take the checklist and check off to make sure that you've got everything. So this will help as well. Okay. Looks familiar, looks similar to the one we've been using. I printed these out. I like to print it out. It's just easier when it's printed out, and I don't have to flip screens and I'm busy on my computer each week setting up my shelf. I have it here next to me and I can just check off and actually tick off what I've done, what I've covered, and so on. So that will be very helpful. So thank you, Academic Affairs, for making it a little easier on us. Who was that? Oh, cool. All right. So that's the schedule. Now here, BlendEd Audit Tool. That is what I've just printed out for you, this entire workbook. Why is this blank? Oh, it's loading. There you go. Here is the entire workbook in here under the audit tool. So if you want that form in its entirety, okay, there's week 1, there's week 2, week 3. Okay, I want to go back to portfolio and grading. Week 2. Grading. Announcements, weekly discussions, grading. Okay, so the portfolio grading looks like it's part of the general grading comments. But I'll be specific, like if I see the issues are with your portfolio, I'll say in your portfolio did not see use of rubrics or did not see use of comments, whatever. So I'll let you know specifically which area, whether it's in-class activity, portfolio, assessment, assignment. I'll try and be specific. Okay, did you see how I found that? That was BlendEd Audit Resources. BlendEd Portfolio Assignment Grading and Feedback. If you need more information, you want to read more about that and kind of review it a little. They've got some information here. Down here, you'll be able to click on your tab. If you have a portfolio assignment, it will say portfolio assignment on your home page. You can click on that and it will take you directly to your portfolio assignment. And that's how I'm going to audit them. I have to use that link and then go into the portfolio assignment like that. Okay, let's see what else they've got showing here. Who has not used the portfolio gradebook and assignment yet? Ms. Linda, you're going to have to do a little research. Okay. You haven't seen it yet? Okay, if you do have it, my suggestion is go back and review the training because it's not intuitive and user-friendly like what we're used to with Canvas. You still can't see them? In the training, they showed us how to do that. I remember I need to go back and look. They showed us how to be able, in that training, they said, this is how you see the assignment. I need to go back and look. I'll look.
I had Cassie send me a copy of her assignment.
have no idea which is.
Yeah. Assignment verification process. On your home tab, if you have portfolio assignments, you'll know it by them being evident in the home tabs. If you have no portfolio assignments, there won't be anything. Well, as long as academic affairs and the CDT are actually keeping up with all of that, right? That's how you'll know. Okay. Are we clear on how to find the resources? Do I need to go over anything again? Because I think that's the thing, is that you know where to find it when you're looking for it, because you're not working with all of the stuff all the time. So audit appeals, that's for me. I'll appeal for you on your behalf. The resources are in here. The training we just did that I went through, that screen with all the PowerPoint slides are in here. It's this BlendEd Audit training. And then in that same, here is the new audit tool training. If you want some more training, she goes into far more detail in her training. But when I did the training, I was like, well, not 80% of the stuff we're doing already, so it kind of was a waste of time to sit through all of it when you're doing it for a whole year. But if you feel like you just want to, you need more training, you want to look at it more in depth, like Linda, someone who hasn't been using it for a while, there's been so many changes, just go to, you are welcome to sit through some of that training. Okay. Okay. Everyone okay on the new BlendEd Audit tools and requirements? We'll ease into it, I promise. New gradebook, like I said, training will be coming this mod, if not this mod, next mod, but it's pretty intuitive. On the side of the gradebook, what I love about this gradebook, it's really cool, is that once I go there and I click on that little arrow and it brings the student up on the side, it shows you that blue is for late work and this pink is for missing work, yellow is for excused, and it shows me for this particular assignment, this student has none of those. She submitted everything on time, so it should be fine. So I like that, and I like that I can go to the speed grader over there, I can scroll through my students over there, and I can scroll through the assignments over there. So that's pretty intuitive. It's actually a nice feature, and I think we can enjoy this gradebook once we know how to use all the features in the gradebook, because I see there's some interesting things up here. Curved grades, set grades as either points or percentages. So there's some interesting features, and hopefully we're going to learn how to use all of them, and it will be a lot more fun in the gradebook. Where do you see auto grader?
I think it's in the gearbox.
The gearbox
Yeah.
on the far right.
In settings. What's it?
Grading, posting,
Yeah,
policy,
grading. Yeah.
Automatic post grades?
Auto
Yeah.
manual, yeah.
Assignments grades will be visible to students as soon as they are entered. Grades that have already been hidden will remain hidden. Not that. That policy.
There's some place in there where you can have it automatically assign grades to any assignment that's not been submitted on time. But you have to change it because it automatically defaults to 100%, not sure why.
Yeah. Here we go.
They have to change
Automatically.
it to 0.
Is it this, Terry? Automatically apply grade for
That's
missing submissions?
Yes.
Grade?
Yes, because with the end, if you've got students like I have that don't do 90% of their daily checkpoints, you're spending time doing that.
Oh, it just automatically puts a 0 in there. Ah.
So
Cool.
no chance missing something when they go through your audit and they only want that.
And here, automatically
But
apply.
if you check that box, Katie, it's going to put it as 100%. So
You've got to change that to a 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also a great way to play the students to go and look at what they're doing, because if they say 0, they're going to see that.
Well, plus it'll automatically
Yeah.
turn it pink for them with that 0.
But have a look at this one. This one excites me more. Automatically apply deduction to late assignments.
Click it.
Click
Not
it.
good.
Yeah.
Percentage. Ooh, days.
Or hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, no,
lowest,
I was
oh.
excited about that, then I saw that one.
But it's got lowest possible grade percentage though. But okay, I see what you mean. This is a little bit more complex. You have to really think through that very carefully because they could end up getting nothing for something that's just been a submitted page. Okay. All right. I'm excited about the new gradebook. Like I said, I think it's got more features, and once we get used to it, I think we're going to enjoy it a lot more. We're running out of time. I just want to quickly finish up. Remember that you have a $200 budget for your class, for every class, each mod. Only 2 instructors have used that opportunity this mod. Please, if you need something for next mod, for your next class, or even in the next 2 weeks, all you do is have a look on Amazon, just send me the link. Send me the link, I need 10 of these. And as long as it's within a $200 budget, it's yours, okay, for your class. Once again, I want to reiterate this, we said this last year, the instructor's responsibility to deliver outstanding content regardless of shell and content issue. Okay? It's our responsibility to go through those shells before we present them to students, make sure everything is correct. If it's not, make a plan. Either put in a new link, take that link out, change the assignments, change the assessment. We just can't change daily checkpoints, we can't change discussions, and we can't change portfolio assignments. We can change rubrics. There are things we can do. So let's do that and make sure we're delivering a quality and value-added education to us.
You say we can't change daily checkpoints.
Unless
There is a, yeah,
Yes.
there
What I need to
are
change-
some of them that have the wrong answers.
Mike, yes,
And we can change those, I assume, because I do it.
Well, there are some that also, like, you'll go into, and there's, all of the links are bad, so, you know, you gotta keep an eye on that as
Yeah,
well.
that's the worst.
Yeah. If there's something wrong with it, you have, yes, please make a plan, try and change what you can. If it's fine as is, just leave it, don't change. Oh, dates. I've seen when they changed the gradebook over, it messed up some of the daily checkpoint dates. Just go back and check that your daily checkpoint dates are correct. And I saw with my course, week 3 and week 4 dates were, as I say, buggered.
Week 3 is showing up in week 2, week 4 is showing up in week 3.
Yes. So just go check your dates again, huh? I know.
Wait,
Like,
you know,
remember
from your students.
Buggered is a very, it's a very appropriate word in the English language.
Very English.
Like,
Get away with it.
is buggering appropriate? Is this-
No, I don't think buggered.
Okay.
No,
No,
I don't
that
think
has
it
a
was.
very specific meaning.
Well, I would,
Yes.
you know, we have a bunch of boys, you know, raising boys. I was just telling you, I don't know if it's in your culture, but in the English culture, raising boys and raising girls are very different. So I could say to my boys, stop buggering around. And it's appropriate, but I can't say it to girls. It wouldn't be appropriate. So I don't know if you guys have that same sort of thing, that some things are appropriate to say to boys that are not appropriate for girls.
Maybe not in that same way, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's gotta be a few.
Yeah, there must be. Yeah, things you'd say to boys and you wouldn't say to
I don't
girls.
know that it's not appropriate, you just talk.
Yes. No, it's in English, there's quite a bit of that.
Yep.
Well, your
Um,
knickers are different.
the
depending on
what?
Whether you're a boy or a girl, right? Your knickers.
All right, good. Different strokes for different folks. All right, okay, let's get to this here. Yes, so our responsibility is always to present the best show we possibly can and make those changes when necessary. Martin Luther King Day, Monday. There's no campus on Monday. It is a holiday for you as well as for students. However, you don't need to create a Zoom lesson, but you do need to go in on Monday and do your announcement and your first discussion post. So please be aware of that. You will get penalized if you don't go in on Monday, or do it on Sunday if you have, Monday you're going somewhere or doing something. But you don't need to record a Zoom session. It is a holiday for you as faculty in that sense. Power hour real quick. So we've changed power hour. We've taken it out of the classes. We've taken out the block of time out of the class. But how you conduct the class and how you give students time to work on assignments throughout the class, because you are the specialist, you have academic freedom, and you can decide what is appropriate and what is necessary for that class, for that content, what they need to work on when. So power hour, we're going to be talking about it, revamping it, we're promoting it, and most likely it's going to be after class in the morning, before class in the evening. The snacks, the power hour snacks are now in the Success Center. And the Success Center is going to be our tutoring center, our power hour center. It's eventually going to become our Friday cafe. So we're going to make that a tutoring work center for students where they can get help and tutoring and assistance. The snacks are in there. So during breaks, please, won't you just let your students know there are snacks in the Success Center for power hour. They can go up and we call it power up. Power up on some snacks, walk with them if you want. And let them help themselves to some snacks so that they stay refreshed throughout the time of the course. Okay. Anything else from anyone? Any comments? Any questions, any concerns?
We're still doing study cafe on Fridays.
Yes, we
right?
are.
Who's going to be here?
Laura will be here on Friday as well as Sammy.
Because I have one or two students that we plan to come in tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, great. And she's excellent. She's so good. I mean, and the students love her because she's so patient and explains things. So, yeah, Laura will be here. Sammy's supposed to be here, but Laura will be here as well.
Super.
Okay.
If you talk to them, let them know just to go into the Success Center. I'll be here to keep an eye out.
Yeah, they know to go there. So, I'm hoping, I know one will come in. I'm hoping two. Paul will come in, Paul Mira. And I'm hoping that Yoko comes in.
Okay. Very good. I'll be glad to see Yoko here. Get some work done. Anything else, anyone? Guys, I know it's a lot. That's how I felt yesterday. The way you're feeling now was how I felt. I had a bit of a panic attack yesterday. But you know, it's like when I went and read through it and took this, I was just thinking, I'm doing that, we do that. And I was like, you know what, it's really not bad. It's not so bad. But we'll get used to it, we'll ease into it. Are you ready for 2020? Are you ready for all the changes? Are you okay with all the changes? Just breathe, remember to breathe, not to get stressed out. Talk to me if there are any issues or problems. Send up tickets, send up appeals, appeal everything. Appeal. Okay, I don't want you doing unnecessary training or work. Oh, Mod 12, we've covered retraining in our last faculty meeting. You don't have to do any retraining for Mod 12. We've discussed everything in the mod, and I can do that. Apparently, I'm allowed to say, okay, well, this mod, we're not doing the training, video trainings, we're going to be doing it as a meeting. Or I'm going to talk to you individually, and we're going to work this out individually. So we can do that, and I'll let you know. So Mod 12, don't worry about the retraining. Okay, is our head above water? Okay, mine is like that. But come on, let's make 2020 great. Like I said, let's finish strong. I'm going to stay strong, and if you guys are here, we're going to do it together, and we're going to take these students through their courses one mod at a time. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We really, really appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. Recordings.
Good, how are you?